sometimes it's actually not decluttering that we need. Sometimes we need proper planning. Because you might think that you have a lot of things in your mind, but it is actually not even so it's not that you have a lot of things in it. You just not manage your time well. You've not planned how you are going to do everything. So whatever that is in your mind is overwhelmed. Not that you need to do this and this. It is anxiety. It is the fear that you have not done a lot of things. But all those can be helped and can be solved by now. Proper planning, proper time management, and I think it's something that people should take note of. Like, what are these triggers that lead you to now want to declutter? So you need to know what exactly that you are going through and solve the correct thing. Welcome back to Balance It podcast. In this podcast, we have all conversations about wellness, purpose, lifestyle, and personal development.
In today's episode, we're going to discuss about decluttering. I know it's a big word. It's so general, but we'll get into it deeper as we go through the episode. I'm your host, I'm Gertrude Nasike.
And I am Eda Onyoni. So let's get into it. You said it is a big word.
It is very general. When I say declutter, what comes to your mind?
Garbage.
Exactly. but when you try and put it like, okay, it comes to garbage, maybe cleaning or clearing out something. But at the same time, you're trying to think, this is a wellness podcast. Why would we talk about garbage? You see, that's why I said it is very general. But we are going to discuss it in the context of mental declutter or decluttering your mind in simple terms. That's why we have brought it up today. So what do you now understand when I put it in this context?
Garbage. When I said garbage, it's because decluttering, it means that there is something before we D. Before the D, there is something. So it can be garbage in our minds when it comes now to mental health. So for me, decluttering is trying to remove or reduce the garbage that is in my mind. Or something that does not help me in whatever state that I am in and in whatever I want to do later on. So whatever that does not serve me is the word that I was looking for. So just removing in my mind whatever that does not serve me at the moment, or it won't serve me either way later on in the future.
Oh, wow. I think I love how you've put it that way, because yes, just like any other thing, let's say a house, sometimes you find like there's so many things maybe in the house and the house looks chaotic. And that is clutter. That is like a lot of things just there. It's clutter. So when you're decluttering, it's like you're clearing them out, you're removing them out. And I like how you've put it. And I would just say, for me, when you say declutter, whatever comes to my mind is a common term like brain fog. And by this, I mean, sometimes you feel like you're seeing things in a blurry way. You don't have clarity in your mind. And I feel like this lack of clarity or reduced clarity in your mind is a direct result of this clutter in your mind. And it can be caused probably by too much stress, or just being overwhelmed, or having so many things that you're doing, may it be work, friends, just having so many things in your plate, and all of them you're putting it in your mind. So it's like your mind is packed, is full, so it brings some sense of lack of clarity, or sometimes we feel it in a way that we are not really focused, but we have just blurry maybe visions or blurry concepts in our minds. You understand? So that's basically what the concept of brain fog is, and that's what comes to my mind when we say decluttering or clutter in the mind. Yes.
And I feel like this same brain fog, definitely, because if your mind is blurry and maybe you can't think properly because of some things, it is eating up into that thing that would have been done better if your mental state was clear. How do you think this brain fog is preventing us from actually now being these wholesome well-beings?
I feel like, first of all, just from what I've said, lack of clarity or reduced focus as a result of this brain fog is affecting so many people in terms of how we conduct our activities or our productivity levels. If I'm not focusing on one thing fully, then it means the level of productivity in that specific thing is going to be a bit low as compared to, let's say, you, Eda, who has completely decided to focus on this one thing and just to improve and have more expertise in this specific thing. So you would find that the level of productivity definitely gets affected with this brain fog, because you don't have focus, you don't have complete clarity of how you need to go in terms of direction, and just how you need to do things in terms of maybe the productivity or the activities that you're doing. Yes,
and definitely you won't show up in the world as your whole best self that the world needs, and so you'll be giving the world breadcrumbs of who you are, instead of showing up as this person that the world actually needs. Yes, definitely it reduces on productivity, and also just back to whatever I was saying, how you show up to the world. The world needs you as wholesome and being able to give your light according to your purpose and what you've been brought into this world to be. And it is now our selves responsibility to do this decluttering and have clarity in our minds, and not wait on somebody else to come and do it, because it is in our minds. It is not outside of us, it is in our minds. Yeah, I think that is just something I just wanted to throw there.
That's really well said, and I believe that maybe we can just go on the ways that we use to declutter. Or just before we go there, you find that sometimes, yes, you're decluttering, or you've now realized, yes, my productivity is quite low in this specific activity. And the reason is because I have this brain fog, or because I have my focus divided to many different things. I'm not literally focusing on one thing, and that's like kind of stressing the brain, or you're having just things that are overwhelming your brain, because you need to go to school, you need to go to work, you need to do what, you need to check up on someone. You have so many things that are going through your mind. And I feel like sometimes, yes, you've understood it and you've decided, I now want to declutter these things. But at the end of maybe doing these things, maybe the practical ways that we're going to discuss later on, you still find that there's no difference. Why do you think this happens? Maybe we are decluttering without intentionality, or why do you think this really happens?
Yeah, there is the answer. You've just given the answer is there. Decluttering without intentionality. And it happened to me one time, and it took so long for me to actually realize that I was actually decluttering without intentionality. In my mind, I thought I was decluttering. Definitely, yes, the whole reason for me to start doing whatever I wanted to declutter was to actually declutter, but I was not intentional about it. So if I had removed that element of whatever I didn't want in my life, I had removed it, yes. But now this time, you see, during that period, I was doing something with that specific time, this is something that I have removed.
Yeah.
So I was doing something, which is something that I had removed.
Yeah.
But now once I removed this specific thing, so there is like free space, there is free time here.
Yeah.
So I now started involving myself in things that were actually going to make me not even, it's like I have removed one problem and I have added another problem. So the main reason for me to declutter was to remove these problems. Yes, it was gone, but I have now added another problem. Instead of it being time to now focus on other things that are even more important, I just added more free wasted time. And it was actually because of not being intentional. Or sometimes you get that we just tell ourselves that maybe this behavior does not serve me. Let me give an example. Maybe you realize you spend so much time scrolling on social media, and you realize that I spend maybe 3 hours on social media.
Yeah.
So you decide now I'm going to reduce it to 1 hour. So you have 2 free hours.
Yeah.
So in these 2 free hours, instead of now focusing on something else, but now you decide to go to YouTube and now watch videos that are not even helpful to you in any way. It's just you have removed the scrolling, yes, but now you have added YouTube, but not in a helpful manner.
You've actually spoken, and I keep laughing because it's just like you're telling my story as well. It's like you're just adding problems. For me now, I feel like when when my mind is overwhelmed, yes, I need to declutter. Yes, I need to clear my mind. But yes, you've already removed something that was maybe wasting your time. But for me, I would add another thing. Maybe right now, I just need to solely focus on 1 or 2 things. I have maybe like 5 things I have divided attention in. So I remove 1 or 2 things and then add other 2 or other 3 things. Now it still makes my mind just still get full and more stressed, more frustrated.
Yeah.
So you still feel like, wait, I thought I'm decluttering, but at the same time, it's like I've added more problems because there's a way when you declutter, you feel in your mind, you just feel like there's some level of clarity, even if it's not full clarity, but something mentally has changed. And I would say that that's how I also discovered I wasn't being intentional with my decluttering. But now there's a time now I decided to now be intentional with decluttering. I cleared my mind and then decided to focus on those just have specific focus on specific things. Yes, they might be few, but put the attention on it. And I felt like my productivity really changed. It really improved because I was now not thinking, I need to go to school. I don't know, touch what. I have not touched this. No, I just know either it's going to school or reaching out to people. I know these are the things where I'm focusing my energy in, or maybe it's starting a business and maybe just reaching out to clients. This is what I'm focusing my energy in. Not, I'm starting a business, or I'm being employed, or I'm doing another program after work, or I need to go and work out with everyone. No. I just decided to choose a few things that really work for me and are complementing whatever goal I have for that specific time, and focused my attention on them. And I felt like it really helped because it was with intentionality. My stress levels really went down, and I just felt more clarity, and you're like in more control of your time, and you actually are seeing progress.
Yeah.
Not just touching almost everything, but not even progressing.
Yeah, you're just in motion, but not productive.
Very true.
Yeah. So I think maybe then we can just go into the practices then on how we actually declutter.
Yeah.
For me, what has worked for me highly is journaling and spending time on reflection.
Yeah.
Journaling is also a way of reflection, and that is by writing down anything that comes to my mind, especially now during the day, or when you're busy running errands and you feel like there is something that is disturbing, and I feel like there is something that is disturbing my mind, but I really don't know what. So that during that time, and it is a practice that I'm still practicing it, during that time I just start writing, how am I feeling? What is going on? Like, how has been my day? Like, I just start, how was my day? What is really in my mind? What is really disturbing me? And as I am writing, it's like an aha moment that comes that makes me feel like, actually, I can now trace where the problem is. And actually, I can figure out some solution to it. So yes, for me, journaling is something that has worked for me. And I'm an online person, so that is why I prefer the online because I can continue writing even as I'm on the move and anytime. Yes, so definitely journaling, and I would recommend journaling to everyone. So if you prefer like online space journaling, there is a journal that I use. It's called Journalistic. You don't have to pay. You just put your email and everything, and it saves everything there for you. So as long as you log in from any maybe laptop or phone, you can still, with your email, you can still get whatever that is going on there. And number two, something that has worked for me as well, yes, I've talked about reflection. Just sitting down somewhere, maybe mostly especially with nature, and trying to understand what is really happening, honestly, what is actually happening with my mind. And you find that in that phase, you get to get answers. I normally say nature has all my answers. Anytime I have a problem, I just go and sit and just talk to myself, maybe talk to God, and just answers just come
back. That's really nice. And I would really say also for me, it's I would say journaling, and also time slotting, or just having a to-do list or time scheduling. There's another program I was taking, and they were like, I was just like, these people are in sync. You see those things that probably today you didn't know what's going to be taught on that specific day, and then when you log into that platform, the first thing you see is what is actually going to help you. Like, you're already facing that situation.
God sent.
Yeah, God is literally speaking. So you see, and there's this they were saying, try to clean your mind, and to improve maybe the focus, to improve your productivity, because it's just like a house. If a house, maybe you need to rebuild a house, and you have this debris already, you brought down maybe whatever was there, you can start building on top of the debris. You need to clean it out, and then now start building something new. The same thing from this program. Now they were saying, you have so many things that are in your mind that are not serving you. You have, I don't know, you have to remember whose birthday. You have to remember, I don't know, which appointment. These things can be scheduled in a Google Calendar. Remove them from your mind. Those are some of the things that are already packing your mind, and you're feeling like, my mind is full.
So much.
Remove them and schedule them on a calendar. The same thing you said about journaling. You have all these thoughts, you have feelings, you have, I don't know, things that you're really trying to worry your mind about. Remove them from your head. Put it in a book. Put it in a gratitude app journal. For me, I use just a gratitude app. It's just called that for journaling. Put it in such an app, like write down all these thoughts. It allows your mind, you realize you're removing thoughts, you're removing things that are not in your priority, things that can be done for other times,
Yeah.
you're unpacking and removing them slowly by slowly, and that's when you get to have space to now accommodate what is actually needed. If you need to learn something new about a skill, learn that thing, but you can't learn and understand if your mind is full of people's birthdays, I don't know, appointments that are two months later. No, stop worrying your mind.
Yeah.
People's contacts. I know it is also not good, because we will get maybe digital dementia, because we will forget other people's contacts. But please save people's contacts on their contacts. If you don't remember Eda's phone number, go and search for it. But don't try and put all these things in your mind. Remove those things that actually have other places that they have a home in other places other than your mind.
Yeah.
And then that's when you'll start feeling like now you're getting space for now more important things in life. Yeah, I would say now that is what has happened for me. Journaling, definitely, and also the calendar. And another thing, also exercising.
Yeah.
Exercising helps you declutter, because in a way it just helps you. It's like you're in a different mood, or especially if you're working out outside.
True.
If you're working out outside where there's nature, definitely you just have peace and answers, or just take a walk. Sometimes, even if you're not journaling, what has also worked for me is like taking a walk, maybe in nature, or just a walk, and talking to myself. I'm also removing my thoughts.
Yes.
I'm thinking aloud, I'm talking aloud, I'm asking myself questions, or I'm answering questions that are going through my mind. So instead of me getting worried, or every time trying to think about the statistics here, I just, like, it is totally different when I talk. I would get to wherever I was feeling much at ease and just in a good way.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything that you have said. And what has really stood out for me is that remove whatever that is in your mind and put it in a different home. It doesn't have to be in your thoughts home, your brain's home. Find a different home for it. And as you are speaking, I also thought that sometimes it's actually not decluttering that we need. Sometimes we need proper planning. Because you might think that you have a lot of things in your mind, but it is actually not even it's not that you have a lot of things in your, you just not manage your time well. You've not planned how you are going to do everything. So whatever that is in your mind is overwhelm, not that you need to do this and this. It is anxiety, it is the fear that you have not done a lot of things.
Yes.
But all those can be helped and can be solved by now proper planning, proper time management. And I think it's something that people should take note of, like what are these triggers that lead you to now lead you to now want to declutter. So you need to know what exactly that you are going through and solve the correct thing. It just popped in my mind.
That's very much needed. By the way, that's very much needed. Because sometimes you really don't, you just, yes, you know what might cost, but you keep going and keep doing other things. But at least when you know these triggers, the moment that you've already decluttered, and then it gets to a moment where you know start feeling like you're having also this brain fog again, you'll just know how to go back to the basics, which is a good thing. And I feel like right now you just talked about social media, how you are doing it. Maybe spending 3 hours on social media, but right now you feel like you need to declutter. But we have social media, we have so many things going around, technology, like how do we do it with all these distractions?
I think it's just putting yourself first and knowing what matters to you. Because if you know you need to read a book, you need to do assignments, you have an appointment, let me say maybe with therapy, for therapy. If you know you need to do all those three things at the end of the day, and you have limited time, let me say maybe you are also working at the same time, or you are in class, you won't have time really for this social media. So prioritizing, number one, prioritizing. And also what I'm trying to do recently, it's just a practice that I recently started, is allocating time for those distractions. Now if maybe if I'm supposed to maybe go for therapy, and then after that I'm supposed to do this specific assignment, if I know I cannot just come from therapy to assignment directly, so let me allocate time for those distractions. So if it is social media, I allocate time between maybe 2:30 to 3:30, I will be scrolling on social media. But now that one needs a lot of mental strength, where you tell yourself that I cannot extend past after now the 3. Once it is 3, I have to go back to the next. But allocating time for those distractions, and slowly you get to realize that these things are not even helping me in any way. These things are not even serving me in any way. So let me try to remove them from the schedule. But as you are still creating that habit of now removing those distractions, because also we cannot avoid these distractions, because they are still within us. So let's make time for them, so that we can be able to proper time manage.
But I'm just thinking, what's in the case where you find someone's job or someone's business literally requires them to be online for the entire day? How do we go about it? Because I remember for me, actually, I started sometimes feeling that like feeling kind of overwhelmed, or it's like it's like just there are a lot of things filling your mind, and you don't know what it is filling your mind. When I started kind of operating, like being in a situation where I have to be online for most of the time. When it comes to maybe even when I started career as a valuer, like most of the time maybe you're online, or even as maybe an agent, or just as a business person, you're mostly online, maybe looking for clients, looking for leads, or reaching out, responding to leads, especially when it comes to clients. There's always something like the 5-minute rule. If you're not going to, someone makes an inquiry and you're not responding them in like 5 minutes, the likelihood of you making that sale, or even proceeding to a conversion of a lead to a prospective client, is very slim. So you can imagine that means going offline is almost impossible at that time if you're working within. So I don't know, how can people in these careers maybe go about this?
Yes, I faced the same thing, because we have Wi-Fi everywhere, and high chances you'll be online the entire time. Yes, definitely you have an option of switching it off, but since we are here, you have Wi-Fi. But now speaking for that person, what I have done for myself, because I have experienced it, is switching off notifications for those specific platforms that I feel like are distractions to me. You can be online, but you don't need to be on Instagram. You can be online, but maybe you are getting clients from Facebook, so just focus on Facebook. So what is removing you from Facebook to go to Instagram is what you now need to reassess. So for me, what has worked for me is kill that curiosity, because it is no longer serving you.
No, curiosity is important.
It's no longer serving you in this point.
Maybe you can bump into a client there.
Maybe, but you can do it later, because it is not part of your priorities list.
Time and place,
exactly. But right now you're supposed to be focusing on Facebook. You can put that curiosity in a bucket, and then you can still unveil it later on. So for me, switching off the notifications for those specific platforms that I don't need to use, and that is why I said mental strength is very important here, because you have to keep on reminding yourself what is of most priority right now, and focus on it.
Wow.
yeah, that is what I think I can say.
I think that is really good. For me, that the reason as to why I've asked is it's something I've kept on struggling with for a while. But at least nowadays, with time scheduling, I've managed to just ensure that I stick to time to whatever I'm doing. If I'm going to post on Instagram, definitely maybe updating the social pages. I will make sure before I've gone there, I have the content I need to post. So that when even I go there, the amount of distraction is going to be minimal. Maybe I will scroll for like 2 minutes, check.
2 minutes, came 20 minutes.
Nowadays I'm very disciplined. Like 2 minutes, maybe check whatever I need to check and then post. And post, and after I'm done posting, I just normally go back directly. And even when it comes to viewing maybe stories or feeds, I mostly look at the ones that are just like the first few. You'd find I would scroll even like just 5, or maybe like you see the way you scroll upwards, 5 or at most 10, but I don't click on them. And if it's for stories, I would maybe just watch one story, and I rarely even watch stories. Also, I rarely watch even people's statuses in my WhatsApp itself, Yeah, so I think it has helped me, but having the content already.
Yes.
Having the content already has helped, because I think before it would distract me because I would go to maybe Instagram or Facebook. Yes, I know, I feel like maybe I have the content, but I'm not so sure whether I should post that. So I will start scrolling and seeing what can I post? What can I post? Looking for ideas already in that platform. And before you know it, you're already looking into ideas that you've become the idea itself.
True.
And it would distract me a lot. But right now, it's helping me, and that means I'm spending so much less time on these platforms, and also it means that I'm not also cluttering, because also this clutter in our minds is also as a result of the content we consume.
Yes.
Content for our brain.
Yes.
So if I'm just taking in things that don't matter, things that matter, like everything is just getting in, and of course we feed our brain through maybe the visual things we see, or things we read, things we hear. So if I'm listening, or I'm watching, or I'm viewing a lot of things like for 2 hours on social media, it just fills your brain, and that's already clutter. So in this decluttering process, that's how I've managed to do. When I'm going on social media, I go there with the intention to post, and I already have content to post. And after I've posted, I go back, and I don't spend so much time there, because I'm just going to fill my mind, and then after that you'll feel like your head is aching. Yeah, so I don't.
Yeah, something also that I just read was that having an alarm. Now you see, after some time that you've been posting, you know maybe posting just takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's as little as setting an alarm for 5 minutes, a period of 5 minutes.
Wow.
So after the 5 minutes have elapsed, you get an alarm reminding you that now it's time to now move from.
Wow.
So if you decide to now extend, you as well set another alarm.
Oh yeah.
So in case you extend, there is that constant reminder that you have to be doing something else aside from these.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I
maybe
think I will also try that.
Yeah, it could work.
Yeah, but also in like other aspects of life, not just decluttering. And I think sometimes you find that people say people should declutter. Like it's like there are people who have timelines for decluttering. Do you think there's a specific timeline to declutter, or to just clear your mind?
It depends on what. It depends on what. But for me, I don't have a specific timeline. As well, I say it depends on what. Because I remember there is something that I intentionally, yes, I was decluttering, but I didn't do it intentionally. So it took me like 2 years for me to realize that I had actually not decluttered it. So those are 2 years.
Just having the same behaviors.
Yes,
again. Yeah.
but in your mind, it's like I am actually decluttering. But the shorter period, the better. That is what I heard somebody saying. The shorter period, the better, because then you create room for something else that you are supposed to be doing. The shorter period, the better. But I don't have like a specific timeline because that is also something that is work in progress for me.
True. I also think like there's no specific timeline. I would just relate it to healing, to normal healing. Maybe someone healing from physical injury, or someone healing from emotional injury, or mental injury situations, such like everyone has different time periods or time frames. And yes, as you said, the earlier someone snaps out of that, the better. But it starts with you understanding that yes, my head feels full and some things need to go. When you get to that realization, I think it's a good starting point. But there's no specific time for you to like declutter. Like now that you've realized, after 1 week, when you just journal and do exercise, and also, hey, I forgot, also nutrition helps in your brain functioning, or also in a way to declutter. Yes.
How is it that possible?
Okay, for me, I would say like when it comes to nutrition, there are these foods that are also good for the brain. You see, sometimes you might feel maybe less of focus, or you feel like your memory is not as probably sharp or as fast as before. But they're nutritions, like they're foods that you can actually eat to also improve your memory. And then there are also these nutritional supplements, let's say things like fish oils, maybe the omega-3s, that can really boost your brain function. And I believe proper brain function is very essential when it comes to also decluttering and just managing how things, or how your brain functions. So basically that. So I've even forgotten what I was saying. But anyway, so basically that's just a general thing like I was talking about.
Yes, and you just talked about omega-3, and I remember just a short story, when I was in school. We used to have those omega-3s, and in school, like in primary school, people didn't take them positively as right now. They thought like these are drugs to keep your brain active, or to add more. I don't know, like there were just some small myths about like those omega-3s, but I think we need to change the narrative.
We do.
And use them for the right purposes. And I think it begins with understanding why you are actually using them. Yes, and I would like to get your thought on whether this decluttering should be done at an individual level, or you can also reach out to people to help you in your decluttering.
Oh, I think from experience, for me, I would say I would do it on an individual level, because I know what is going through my mind, but I also feel like you can also reach out to people to help you in decluttering. You can reach out to therapists, because maybe sometimes whatever is in your mind is not just what we are saying, that people's birthdays or appointments. Maybe whatever is going through your minds are deep thoughts. They are maybe from a depressive state, or from a traumatic kind of maybe childhood, or just from trauma in general. So sometimes maybe you need professional help to really help you declutter and just unpack these experiences, these emotions, and these thoughts from your mind. And it might take a while. another thing is maybe you can out to a community of an environment of people who actually are sharing the same interest. Maybe both of them just want to feel better, wants to have a clear mind and all that. And maybe they do meditate, or they're doing yoga, or they go for these hikes, and it's proven to them that it actually helps in helping them declutter and just being more clear with whatever they're doing. So you can also just join a community, and you'll find out that it would really help. So it can be both cases. There's no specific section, or there's no specific way that you need to declutter. You can do it alone, you can do it with other people.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. It can be alone or with other people. And I like the way for mothers, especially for newborn mothers, we have seen maybe from our sisters, our aunties, during that period, they normally have like WhatsApp groups, or they join different Facebook groups where they know when they have a question about maybe their newborn baby, they will send it there, and they can get suggestions of what has worked for other people. But that does not mean that is expert knowledge, but it is you to now decide whether to take that advice or not. But having such support groups as well, and if possible, if we can find like-minded such support groups, it would be very good for your decluttering, because I realize that sometimes you think that you are going through a problem, thinking that you are the only one going through a problem, but everyone is actually going through the same problem, and there is a way that they have been able to manage them over time. And definitely there is also somebody who is older or who has managed it properly than you, who is a beginner in that specific problem. So we still continue preaching the power of community here. Community, it's very important. And I think, we can end the show there.
Yeah, that was a great conversation, and I really liked it. And make sure to comment, subscribe, and also share your tips on decluttering, so that we can also learn from you and just improve ourselves as well.
Yes, subscribing is free. To still remind you over and over again, this is how we get to continue bringing in the content, and also it gives us motivation to keep going, you know. So definitely don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share all the knowledge that you have learned. And also we would like to hear your stories about decluttering. Thank you so much for having us, and until next time, bye bye.